Hi everyone, I'm the plant propagator and welcome to my channel. It is late November and it is 82 degrees in the afternoon. Just another nice warm toasty day here in Southwest Florida. I get good humidity. Orchids are loving it. What I wanted to do today is tell you a little bit of a story, tell you what's going on with some of my orchids and my date palm. I've showed you some of the orchids on my date palm before, and this is a great plant for growing my orchids. They have shade in really throughout the whole day, and it's late afternoon right now. And they do, as you can tell, I think if you heard the road noise, there was a car that just went by on the road. So this date palm is really close to the road. It is probably around 12 feet away. And because of that, and because of a road improvement project that's going on in the county, this tree has a pink X on it. So what happened last week is they put stakes in all up and down the street, and everything on this side, the street side of the stakes, is going to have to be removed for the street improvement project. So what that means is that this date palm, which is a female date palm that a friend gave me that he grew from seed, maybe not even 10 years ago, this great plant, because it's so close to the road, is out of here. And they're going to start this project probably in about a month and a half. So they came through last week, put the stakes in, put this X on there. I've got, there's another tree in my neighbor's yard that's a royal palm. See how close to the street I am? The royal palm is also destined, it also has a similar pink X on it, and it's going to be cut down. And it's sad, but I realized a long time ago that was going to happen to this date palm, and I've accepted it. Haven't really embraced it, but I've accepted it. I know it's going to happen, and so I've got some really nice orchids on this that have been established. So what I'm going to do today is go over with you how to remove some of the date palm, some of the orchids from this date palm tree. So I've got a lot of dendrobiums, Cattleyas. There's a Phalaenopsis. I actually have a Phalaenopsis that is just huge that I featured in some of my in one of my previous videos. But I'm going to have to go through and essentially remove these things. And I've done this a little bit. I've removed established orchids from their pots, and the roots, as we know, grab on. So the roots on this, I mean, these plants are doing well on this date palm tree because the roots have grabbed on. Now the way to get these plants off is to soak the roots in water, which is tough here, but I've been kind of watering the roots on these plants all day long. And so what's going to happen is it's going to be a little easier to take off, but still some of these things, there's a Phalaenopsis at the base of this tree that has a really established root system. And because of that, it's going to be really tough to get this guy off. So what I have is, when I look at this tree, I've got dendrobiums here. There's dendrobium, a really nice dendrobium right here. Another one that might be out of the view that's down here, but there's a lot of orchids on this tree. There's the Cattley up here, dendrobium right up here, the first flower on this den, but they all have to be removed. The kind of plants that I put on my date palm, I did this is an older date palm, and I did this in my earlier days of orchid collecting. And what I tend to do is take the orchids that were like back bulbs that I was just going to toss, and I shove them down here, down in the base of the petiole, or what's left on the tree, and a lot of them established. So I've got a lot of these things that that are no ID, and so I'm not, I don't really need to keep them. But I have a Cattlea right here that's Momolani Rainbow. that just does really well here and that I'm going to keep. So anyway, all right, so what I want to do today is one at a time. I want to go through and remove a Cattleya that I think is going to come off really easy. I'm going to remove a Cattleya that might be a little bit more stubborn, difficult to take off. And then finally, I've got my monster phal that has an extensive root system that has really grabbed the tree, and I want to go over trying to take that off. I don't know if it's going to work. I am sure I'm going to just beat the crap out of the root system on the phal. I think the Cattleyas will come off easily. I'm not going to worry about the dendrobiums today. Maybe at another point I can do that, but let's just see how it goes. So I have, again, it's a sad story. This really magnificent date palm is just going to get cut down. It's just going to be removed. It's gone. I can't have them dig it up and hold it somewhere. The cost is just too high. And I should say this is a female date palm, and I have 3 date palms, small, the replacements for this that are growing in my backyard, and I'm going to have them PCR tested to see whether they're male or female. The female just makes a huge mess when they get the dates and they drop the dates. Big mess. But I want to have it tested, and I want to have another date palm put here after they finish the road improvement project, which I think is going to take about a year. All right, so that's all I have for now. I'll readjust the camera, and we'll go through together how to remove 2 Cattleyas and then the monster phal here. And you might hear some cursing when I'm trying to remove the monster phal, but it's all part of the entertainment. Okay, so I know it's sad that the tree is going to go, that the orchids have to be relocated, but that's just how it is. All right, so let's take a look. Let me readjust the camera, and we'll start pulling off some orchids. Okay, and we're back. So this is the, what I hope is the easiest to remove Cattleya. So this plant, as you can see, it moves pretty easily. It does have roots that are up here. I've been watering it, so the roots are pretty, they're pretty soft, and they're pretty water saturated. And the plant is not doing really well. What happened is Ian came through and really did a lot of damage to a lot of the orchids on this tree because they couldn't be removed, and they were just really out in the exposed area and the wind, and this one got just nailed. So I'm just going to pull this off and see how it goes. I think it should be fine. This dendrobium right here, I can tell this dendrobium is on right here is on a lot better, but let me just see how it goes, and I think this is going to be an easy removal. And you just have to, you know, I'm just going, sorry. All right, and you can see the root system here. It just doesn't look great. So I'm going to have to clean this up a lot. Most of these roots don't look very good. Look dead. But what I'm hoping, and even the new growth. So there's an eye maybe right here. This doesn't look good. So I don't know how this is going to make it. And it's a no ID. So there's another eye right there. So after this grows out, this will put out some roots, and I think it'll be good. So I'll probably have to trim most of this stuff off. It's not in very good shape, but it'll probably live. And again, it's a no ID Cattleya. I'm not sure what it is, but we'll just kind of see if it lives. I'm not sure if I want to mount this. I don't think I want to mount this on my other date palm or any other tree, but we'll see how it goes. I might just try putting this in a pot. Okay, let's move on to the next plant then. Okay, and now we're on to Cattleya number 2. This is Momolani Rainbow. This is a fairly large plant, and I think it's in here pretty good. I got the putty knife because I think I might use it to try to scrape off. This is going to be fun. And what's happened with this plant is I can scrape off some of the roots, but then the roots are, this root, for example, is down in here, and it has just grabbed on, so I'm just going to have to pull this guy out. And there's a lot of roots that are buried down in this area and this area and this area of the plant. But what you can see is a nice, a nice new leaf growing out here. And I think overall the plant, it looks okay. It's looked better. Again, I think Ian did a real number on a lot of these plants. So I'm just going to try to work this plant out and see how it goes. It might take a while. Yikes. It is moving, but it's also in there really well. And this is, this root is just all stripped, so that's going to have to come off. I think a lot of these roots. But, the way that orchids grow, you'll get new roots out of the new growth. All right. What I had to do was I had to pull up on this because he had all these roots here that got down in here. And so these roots are all grabbed. I think most of them are just stripped. There's not much there. The new growth on this plant also doesn't look great, but there, like I said, there is, a new bulb, new leaf coming out there. Now that I have this out, let me look around and see what's going on. Not too much more new growth, but this will be fine. And it actually looks like this leaf right here, you can see there's a lot of red coloration on this, but this whole bulb here is rotted, the whole thing here, and there may be a lot of these. So I'll have to really take a close look at this and see what is worth salvaging. But there's at least there's at least half of this plant, especially with a new growth coming out on it, that is going to be salvageable, and that looks good. But it's off, and I think we're good and ready to move on to the next one. That's going to be even, I think, more of a challenge. Okay, so time to move on. Okay, now we're back, and this is going to be challenging. So this guy this is the large Phalaenopsis, and what I did again is I just kind of watered it, try to get the roots moist. And I didn't want, I just wanted to see how it went. So I was able to just pry some of the roots off, but it is nowhere close to being ready. And what happens is similar to what we saw with the Cattleyas, the roots, and I don't know whether you can hear that noise, but that's an awful noise. That's roots kind of snapping off as I'm trying to kind of pull them off. They're mostly coming off, so adding the water really does help a lot. But what's going on with these guys is that the roots kind of grow down in the base of these petioles of the date palm, and they just really get in there well, and so you're just not going to save all of the roots, and that's not the idea. Again, this thing so there's a flower spike right here, and then there's this old flower spike right here, and this one was getting tall, but then it had the top got kind of chewed off with with Ian from the hurricane. The other thing is that you may be able to see down here, there's a new root here, and it looks like, you know, the top of this really got, it got etched up pretty badly also. So it's beaten up, but it's also, it looks okay, and I think it'll survive. I'm going to see, this, it's on there really good, and I don't know if I can, it's just, the roots are in here so well. I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull this off. And the roots go, they go way down here. Let's see how easy, it's not moving at all. Oh, look, here's a root. This you don't see very well. I don't know if you can see it. So here's a root from this fowl that is, you probably can't see it. It's in the ground. And I'm going to, let me pull this out. All right, so it wasn't bad. It went to the ground and it was branching. But I'm going to go around to the other side so I get a little bit of a better angle on this. So I think this is just going to be tough to do. Oh my gosh. Sometimes that's all you can do. So I had a lot of roots that I was trying to pull off with it, but that's all I got. You can see a lot got left behind, and so these will be removed. But I mean, you know, these are fowls and they'll be fine. So, you know, there's a nice root there. I will cut off this bloom spike. I don't think it's good to have too many of those on there. And there was another bloom spike right here that got pulled off. Anyway, so that's it. We'll try to move this. I'll clean up my tree a little bit, even though it doesn't matter because the tree's going to get cut down. So I may strap this to the male date palm, cut this off because it's more of a drain, and just see how it goes, and maybe hopefully this root and the other roots that are associated with it will attach. Okay, so that's all I have for today. I hope you were entertained by my video. If you like what you saw and you want to keep on seeing, it would help me out if you could click on like, share, and subscribe to my channel if you're not already a subscriber. Okay, so that's it. The last fowl. I still have a lot of dens and some other orchids I got to pull, and some other Cattleyas I got to pull off of this. All right, so I don't think I'm going to do another video, but we'll see. Let me know if you want to see another video on how to strip all the other orchids off this tree. All right, so that's all I have for today. Happy propagating.